When you think of the world's largest democracy, you probably don't picture a sea of red hammer and sickle flags. Yet for decades, India has hosted some of the most deeply entrenched, democratically elected communist governments on the planet. Marxist ideology reached deep into the culture of several Indian states, defining everything from local labor laws to public infrastructure for over half a century. In regions like West Bengal and Kerala, party figures like Jyoti Basu maintained absolute control. They built massive political machines that won election after election, holding unshakable majorities. This timeline map of India tracks those strongholds, revealing a massive collapse. From 1967 to today, those solid red territories are wiped completely clean. For the first time in 59 years, recent elections ousted every single communist state government in the country. An electorate of hundreds of millions of people actively rejecting this system is a massive geographic indicator. It proves that traditional party communism is rapidly losing its ability to survive in a free and open democracy. The sheer scale of this electoral wipeout caught the attention of the international community, sparking a viral debate among political analysts in the United States. They noticed a glaring irony. While Indian voters systematically dismantled their communist state governments, segments of the American electorate were voting in politicians pushing heavy wealth redistribution platforms. American political figures are actively weaponizing this ideological tension. Leaders like Donald Trump frequently frame their opponents' domestic policies as an impending communist threat to the American way of life. The specific policies triggering these accusations include proposals for aggressive taxes on billionaires and heavy levies on property owners, initiatives designed to force rapid economic equality, spearheaded by politicians like New York's Zoran Mamdani. This creates a unique geopolitical divergence. While certain Western factions debate a socialist resurgence, the voters in India have decisively closed the door on the movement. To understand how rare this system has become, we have to zoom out and track the collapse of the ideology on a global scale. The first major wave of extinction hit in 1991. Nations across Eastern Europe, from Albania to Bulgaria, tore down their regimes, abandoning the Soviet model. If we look at this modern map of the world following India's recent election, the reality is stark. Out of nearly 200 countries, only 4 fully communist nations remain. North Korea manages to survive, but it only does so through total, paranoid, militaristic isolation from the rest of the planet. Vietnam endures by maintaining a rigid one-party assembly system that allows zero political opposition. The ideology is shrinking so rapidly that mere survival requires extreme measures. The heaviest hitters left on the board aren't even playing by the original rules anymore. China is the glaring anomaly. It stands as a global economic superpower, generating immense capital, all while officially claiming the communist mantle. Unlike traditional Marxist doctrine, which flattens wealth equally, China allows private billionaires to exist. But there is a strict catch. The moment a billionaire grows too powerful, the government steps in with heavy taxes to ensure ultimate control. Now compare that engineered mutation to Cuba. Havana refused to adapt, choosing instead to strictly enforce a pure, inflexible communist economy. That inflexibility has caused severe decay. Driving poverty rates sky high, it culminated in violent anti-government protests and citizens literally setting fire to Communist Party headquarters. The math is unforgiving. Without heavy capitalistic adaptation, the traditional communist model is economically unsustainable and collapses under its own weight. This global collapse has drawn a direct line, right back to the immediate foreign policy strategy in Washington. U.S. political analysts are treating India's electoral shift as a high-level proof of concept. To them, it serves as a live demonstration of how fragile the ideology becomes when voters are given a viable alternative. Figures like Donald Trump have explicitly stated their intent to use this global momentum to apply maximum pressure on Cuba's decaying regime. As this map shows, the ultimate goal is clear: push the weakened Cuban economy until it sparks a popular uprising, dissolving the regime and installing a pro-capitalist government right off the coast of Florida. The geopolitical pressure is actively geared toward forcing that global list of 4 communist nations down to just 3. India's electoral results mark a definitive end to 20th century communism in the world's largest democracy, leaving the few remaining regimes more isolated than ever before.